Now let's turn to our next segment, and this is the one that I think is really important for us to have. I've been worried about trying to figure a way to encourage modelers to really seek out local people who can really truly be a true mentor for them. How I learned and how I got a lot of help was from local clubs and local NMRA divisions. And that's what we call our segment. And Phil Edholm, who is a superintendent of a division in California, agreed to do this segment for us. And so I'd like to turn it over now to Phil and his guest. Phil, thanks so very much. I hope you're having fun at the Narrow Gauge Convention.
Well, just got here. John from Arizona and I actually had lunch, kind of a late lunch, and just came in here for this session. And so I'm looking forward to 4 days. The last 2 days were the driving days, so those weren't really a lot of fun, quite frankly.
Well, that's the best of the
Thank you. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our guest for this evening, Perry Lamb. Perry joined me here on the stage, so to speak. Welcome, Perry.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. So, as everyone knows, this is a segment devoted to really talking about ideas and exchange plates for ideas about how do we make the local NMRA experience better. Because one of the things we've realized is that while clearly a lot of the value and benefit comes nationally, that's kind of almost more general. The personal benefit generally comes locally. So I'm excited to be joined by his guests that can talk about that. So tonight we have Perry Lamb, and Perry, I'd like to welcome you, and rather than me talking about you, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your modeling, and kind of how you're involved with the NMRA.
Well, again, yeah, my name is Perry Lamb. I am the superintendent of the Piedmont Division here in the Southeast region. I also run our training camp program. I had for a long time been on the National Train Show staff. I've taught nationally, regionally, and in the and on the division level. And as I said, I'm the coordinator of our training camp program. At some point about 10 years ago, our division surveyed the membership and asked what they would like. And one of the things that came back was they would like to have hands-on clinics. So one of our members started a training camp program, stuck with it for a year or so, and then disappeared. And I had been teaching for him, and so it kind of fell to me to continue the program. So we've been running our training camp program I've been running our training camp program now for probably 10 years at least. We conduct training camps once a quarter. The first one that we conduct every year is Model Railroading 101. Our largest Model Railroading 101 was in 2021 at the outset of, or near the outset or near the middle of the COVID pandemic, where we taught Model Railroading 101 online, and we had better than 100 attendees literally from across the planet. But we're not always that large, and all the rest of our training camps are all local and hands-on, and which people tend to really like.
Yeah, there's two. It's really interesting because one of the things we try to do is get the nuggets, and there's almost two kind of nuggets there that are really interesting. I mean, one is the whole concept of hands-on. That's one of the things you can't do virtually. You can't go watch on YouTube. YouTube doesn't reach through the computer and grab you. It may happen someday, but it hasn't happened yet. So the reality is hands-on, and somebody being able to learn a skill and try it and have someone tell them, well, why don't you try it this way? I think is pretty much one of those things you get locally. And then I think the other thing that's interesting is kind of the on-ramp, the idea of, well, here's something to come to, and if you like it, and then you get people through a process where they get to feel comfortable. I think that first period's challenging. So those are both really interesting insights for the kinds of things that you do to get people started in their membership path.
Well, and I might politely disagree, because we have taught hands-on clinics online. I think the first one in NMRA history was a hands-on clinic weathering with pan pastels. I taught to the British region.
Right. Yep.
And that was all virtual. And the British region attendees were all scattered across the UK somewhere.
Yep. Oh no, I think that's the thing. It's been, and that part has really been transformational. So other than you're kind of the on-ramp, once people get past the on-ramp, what kind of things do you do as a division to kind of keep your members essentially engaged in their modeling and the division and other members?
Well, I think the biggest thing for a division is whatever it is they do it regularly, every single month. And we did this all through the pandemic. We even through the pandemic, March of 2019, we had our division meeting, our live division meeting with 100 people in attendance. In April, the very next meeting was online. But the concept is, first, make something regular and make it consistently regular. Same place, same time, all the time. And that tends to help keep people engaged. At our division meetings, we have a brief business meeting. We have a clinic of some form or another. We listen to our members. We tend to keep our clinics related to what people are interested in. And then we also have our training camp program and the other bigger things we do. But the biggest thing is regular engaging activities for division members.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely true. I mean, and kind of one of the things, again, we talk about in the mentoring is you get that mentoring of having meetings where people see things and understand things. So how do you get volunteers involved, in the division? Yeah, just out of curiosity, how many members are in your division?
Right now, it's 284 or something like that. So we have a large division, and we have a very active division, so that helps.
Yes, very active for 100 participants. That's very good.
Yeah. We regularly get, at least we used to. Things have changed. I hate the term the new normal, but things have changed, and people don't do things that they used to do. I suspect that before April of 2019, this group with, I've seen it someplace on here before and I missed it now, but 30 participants probably didn't exist.
Right.
But we're back to about 80 participants a month in our division meetings, which is fine for me. But the training, and I think our training camp program has done a lot towards mentoring, because we've gotten people in. Our last large training camp activity was turnout building using fast tracks jigs, and the class filled up instantly,
right,
and people loved it. So, and with an with an MMR and as one of the primary instructors, myself as the other instructor, we had people walk out at the end of the day with functional turnouts.
Yeah, That is one of those great hands-on, building trees, doing
Yep.
learning how to build fast tracks turnout,
Yep.
and hand laying track, doing some hand laid track, and understanding how to, hand lay track enough to where you know how to do it on a bridge if you need to do a bridge. Not you need to hand lay everything, but
Yep.
so that was very good. So how do you recruit? I mean, it's clearly you have a fairly large division. Are you having success recruiting new members, or you just have had a large division for a long time?
We do, particularly because we interact with the public in a variety of places. The Museum of Civil War and Locomotive History here in Kennesaw has 2 events a year that we participate in. The various other museums in our area have events that we participate in. We take our membership booth with us. We take our test track. We take information about the division. We do the same thing at our train show every year, and we attract people at our events. So we get a continuing influx of members. Then we have to hang on to them, and over the last couple of years, that's been a little bit difficult, but that's reversing itself now because we keep going out to our in-person public events and inviting people to join.
Right. I think those are the things you can bring locally that you just can't get anywhere else.
Exactly.
So I guess, if you had some real, concise learnings, like some of you hit, what would you communicate to other divisions? Where should their focus be? And, kind of this changing world where we're coming back from, Zoom, where everybody kind of figured out there's everything on the internet you could ever imagine, to the value of a local division and a local model railroader.
I think the biggest thing that I would start with is how to invite new modelers into the hobby. The Model Railroading 101 clinic that we do every year attracts a lot of people. And we advertise it. Okay, you're into the hobby for the first time. You got a train set for Christmas. What do you do with it? Or you're getting back into the hobby for the first time in 30 years. And things have changed since you were in the hobby 30 years ago. And this is what it looks like. I think that there are a lot of people out there who are new and don't know where to go and don't know what questions to ask. And if you can present yourself as, we're here, we've made the mistakes, let's help you not make them. I somehow think that's a basic function of a local division.
Yep, I think that engagement's really important, and then that extends over time.
Yep.
Well, I'd really like to take the chance to thank you, and thanks for coming on and having a little conversation. I think it's been very informative, and with that, I'll say thanks again, Perry, and we will definitely talk again at the next probably event somewhere in the middle of the country.
Probably.
So, anyway, thanks, Jim. Back to you. Any questions from your perspective, Jim?
I do. Perry, I really appreciate you being on tonight and doing this for us. As I talked to another one of your members the other day, I told him that if you all would like to take advantage of advertising your train show on the show sometime, just let me know, and I'll be glad to do that for you.
Thank you.
Once you've had your train show, we'd love to see some photos of it, of what went on and how you all run your train show. That would be extremely beneficial, I think, for other people that don't have an opportunity maybe to get to where the Piedmont Division holds their shows.
I would be happy to do that.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks again so much for doing this for us tonight, and looking forward to talking to you soon.
Oh, thank you. Have a good evening.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep.